Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. Thanks for Tammy Mitchell on that one. Anyway, as my affirmation masters like to begin, you have to be a vibrational match for whatever it is that you want to see in your life. Said in another way, there is no way to peace, be peaceful. There is no way to happiness, be happy. Whatever it is that you want to set your heart frequency on, you got to match that internally with your vibration. Whatever you turn your attention to, the law of attraction will help to be more. Once you understand that, and also once you realize that you don't have to work hard at being successful with the things that are important to you. Focus on that, which is what I call reaching for the better thought. Never use other people's behavior as a reason for you to disconnect from the source of your own existence, what I call spirit. And even if other people have acclimated themselves to the disallowance of well-being, I suggest that that's not the path that we take. So I don't beat the drum of what's unwanted. I'm happiest when I'm in love and joy and appreciation. And as strange as it is, what is life-giving in the moment never ceases to yield its best. So find out what brings you vitality and hang out there. All right, next. Everything I'm saying, of course, is all about my view of yoga. Yoga as a mythological teaching that gives you a mystical, cosmological, sociological, and pedagogical instruction for you. The problem is that there's nothing wrong with the religion of 4000 BC and what we might think of as religious impulse now. It's the science of that time is so out of sync with the science of what we know now. But they certainly understood a couple of thousand years ago that there was an order to the heavens when they observed the skies. It wasn't astronomy exactly, but it was some pretty accurate understanding that there's a ongoing unfolding that's rhythmic and harmonious and continuous, and therefore you can figure it out. And their idea was we ought to adapt ourselves so that at a microcosmic level, we're kind of following the macrocosmic harmony of the spheres. That's called the Dharma to me, if you believe it. So these elementary ideas that you get all over the planet, although they're never looking the same because they're costumed differently depending on where the geography is and what historical time period we're talking about. But they're occurring everywhere. And the reason why they're everywhere is because there's a common experience of what reality is for all human beings, psychologically and physically. Now, myths are definitely not explanatory. They're not scientific. They're metaphoric. They're symbolic. They help the human being relate to their environment. The problem is, in the old days, everybody understood what sacred space was. There was a sense of awe or holiness about the miracle of life. We've secularized ourselves so much, we're like enchanted. We're like under a pall or a spell of disbelief. The modern mind doesn't think there's a center. The modern mind doesn't think a guru is necessary, and so forth. And so it's left for the individual to swim upstream, so to speak, and find out how to deal with the cosmic anxiety of not knowing where you belong or who you are or why we're here. But nonetheless, by 800, 900 BC, yogic discourses, verbal discourses, were already teaching symbolic understanding that the gods are states of consciousness within yourself. We were no longer exteriorizing. It's a long time before Christ was born, don't you think? And so the Ganges, the sacred river, flowing of the divine nourishment from the heaven world to the terrestrial world. And then you understand that no images can catch this. Nothing can tell you what it is. It's one without a second, the one before whom words recoil. Everything is transitory, so it becomes a metaphor, a reference to that which can't be grasped in name or form. A God defined is a God confined. And so we have to disengage from our traditional inheritance, which is at the temporal moraine of what they can share with us in the modern world, which tends to concretize its symbol system into a dogma or theology, and the spirit is living and fresh and spontaneous, and not to be narrowed into such a small box, such as concept or words. And if you can do that, then you realize that the pilgrimage is not to something outside yourself. So if you know that you're moving into the center of your own heart, then you know why you're doing it, even if you don't actually travel geographically far away from where you are. So if I could bless anybody, it would be to live a balanced, meditative life of going within to help you transcend all the concepts, and that's really the problem. We've been taught so many concepts. Concepts are the problem. It's not about belief, it's about experience. How do you know? Well, if you have the vision of Christ, you have the qualities of Christ, and you enact them and embody them in your life for all to see. Like he says, if you have a light, you don't put it underneath where no one can see. You put it up on the stand where it radiates to everybody.